Today, we're digging into a fascinating new Goldman Sachs report that's making a huge bet on Tencent's future. And you know what? Their entire argument really just boils down to one thing: artificial intelligence. So, what exactly are they seeing? Let's break it down.
Right out of the gate, Goldman isn't playing around. I mean, listen to that language: solidified confidence. This isn't just a casual hunch. They're basically calling Tencent the #1 winner in the AI race in China's internet scene. That is a seriously bold claim. So let's unpack why they're so sure.
So, to put it simply, here's the big takeaway. For Goldman, AI isn't just some side project for Tencent. Nope. It is the engine that's going to power its growth across every single thing they do. This is the core idea of their entire analysis.
All right, so let's look at the foundation of their argument. It's all built on this one really powerful idea, that AI is going to be Tencent's main growth engine from here on out.
And what's really interesting here is the sheer scope of this vision. Goldman's analysis doesn't see AI as some separate new product. Instead, they see it as this transformative layer that's going to improve and speed up everything Tencent already does, from their games to their ads to their cloud business, the whole shebang.
So the big question is, how is Tencent actually pulling this off? Because it's not just about using AI. It's about a very specific strategy that Goldman is highlighting as uniquely smart and, maybe most importantly, super cost-effective.
Okay, before we go any further, we have to get our heads around a key term you see in the report: inference cost. Basically, every single time you ask an AI a question, it costs real money in computing power for it to think of the answer. And believe me, this becomes a massive, massive expense when you're operating at the insane scale of a company like Tencent.
And this, right here, this is how Tencent is tackling that massive cost. It's a brilliant system they call dynamic model routing. So when a user's question comes in, the system instantly decides how hard it is. A really complex question? Okay, that goes to a powerful, expensive, deep-thinking AI model. But a simple everyday question? That gets sent to a much cheaper, distilled model. It's kind of like, using a supercomputer for calculus, but a cheap calculator for basic addition. You use the right tool for the job to save a ton of energy and money.
And the result of that incredibly clever strategy? It's right here. The report points out that Tencent is hitting its AI goals with lower capital expenditure, or CAPEX, compared to its global competition. They're just getting way more bang for their buck. And in the AI arms race, that is a huge advantage. So we've seen the strategy. Now let's get to the really exciting part: the results. We're going to look at how this super efficient AI approach is already making a real, tangible difference in Tencent's biggest moneymakers. Let's kick things off with gaming, their bread and butter. The report says AI is giving them huge efficiency boosts in making content and helping them prototype new games way faster. But it's not just about making things cheaper, it's also making the games better. We're talking smarter AI teammates and even breathing new life into absolute blockbuster hits like Brawl Stars. So think about it. They're making games faster and making their most profitable games last even longer. Next up, advertising. Now, this chart shows you the basic idea of what the report describes. Their new AI models are giving ad performance a major boost, and that means higher click-through rates and, more importantly, better conversion. Turning someone just looking at an ad into a paying customer. For a business that relies so much on ad revenue, this is a game changer. So how's it work? Well, the AI is constantly learning, analyzing what stuff users are looking at and how they're spending money. This lets the system serve up ads that are way more relevant to you, and because of that, they're way more effective. This is what's driving what Goldman calls above-industry ad growth. Which, of course, brings us to the billion-user question. What about WeChat? How does AI fit into the absolute core of everything Tencent does? Well, according to Goldman, Tencent is being extremely careful here. They know the potential is enormous, but they're taking what they call a prudent approach. With WeChat, the top priorities are not messing up the user experience and making sure everything is totally secure. They're playing the long game with their crown jewel, as they should. Okay, so we've covered the tech, we've talked strategy, now let's connect all of this to the numbers, the stuff that led Goldman Sachs to slap a buy rating on the stock. And there it is, the headline number. Goldman has set a 12-month price target of 701 Hong Kong dollars for Tencent. That's a really clear signal of just how confident they are in this whole AI-driven growth story.
And the confidence behind a big number like that, it comes from forecasts like these. These are Goldman's own projections, and it doesn't matter if you look at the top line, revenue, or the bottom line, earnings per share. You just see a clear, steady upward climb projected for both 2025 and 2026.
Now, to put those big numbers into perspective, the report is explicitly forecasting 13% revenue growth and a really strong 17% earnings per share growth for 2025. This is the real financial payoff of the entire AI strategy we've been talking about.
So, to wrap it all up, Goldman Sachs makes a pretty powerful case for Tencent being a massive winner in this AI revolution. And, it leaves us with a really fascinating thought. Tencent built one of the world's very first super apps. Now, as AI gets woven deeper and deeper into the fabric of all our digital tools, what does the next generation of that super app even look like? That's the real billion-user question for the future.